Snackers and Snackettes. It's your boy Gage. This is Snacking and Hanging, the Loading Snacks Podcast, episode 45. 45. 45. This is, of course, the Loading Snacks Podcast.
That it is.
I have one of the usual suspects with me at the moment. Send speak to the folks.
What's going on? I don't know what's going on today, but I'm about to find out in a second.
You know what's going on, sir. It's just regular stuff.
Regular.
Yeah, regular. That's, So, Sin and I are going to wrap for a second. We're going to talk a little bit about just kind of this holiday gaming atmosphere we're in. You'll get it in a second. And then we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, I'm going to have NuJoker on. We're going to do a little rapping. The format's going to be a little bit different. Nothing you guys can't handle, I don't think. Pretty sure you all can handle it.
No, they're good. They got it.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty
sure. Yeah, me too. Got Faith Evans in there. So, Sin.
Gage.
The holiday gaming atmosphere. So you and I were talking the other day.
Which we do.
And we were specifically talking about, we do that sometimes.
Right.
We were having a conversation about, the upcoming games that are coming out. There's still a lot of games have come out, at this point. We're at the end of November. Black Friday is already come and gone.
Right.
And there's still a couple games that have yet to trickle out.
Yep.
One of which is Final Fantasy 15.
Woo!
Right? And we still have Dead Rising 4.
And Last Guardian.
Coming.
Mm-hmm.
Last Guardian is still coming.
Are we sure that it's coming?
No, we're not. It's not real till it's real. So here's kind of the thing. With so many games, I mean, we've had Battlefield 1, Titanfall, Watch Dogs 2, Dishonored 2, Call of Duty. There's just, like, this time of year is always generally like the beginning / middle of September through usually like the first week of December.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not supposed to be the first week of December, but stuff tends to fall. The last couple of years, stuff tends to fall behind a little bit and gets pushed back to where it's a little bit later. And December, that first week of December kind of seems to be, I don't know. I guess it's considered a bit of the sweet spot. I mean, yes, it's after Black Friday, but it's out and it gives people, I guess, enough time for maybe reviews to hit or whatever, where people still have the time to make some buying decisions before Christmas actually comes.
Right.
So here's the thing, man. I mean, obviously, this particular season is a little bit different in that there were a lot of shooters. Like there were 3 solid, like, back-to-back first-person shooters this time around. But kind of what I want to get into is, like, the mindset. We've been gamers for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Is the mindset of how we choose. Because we can't, I mean, I guess we could buy everything, but it's not generally realistic. For a couple reasons. One, you obviously can't play everything. You know what I mean? You just don't have time to put the time into playing some of everything. But just getting into the mindset of, like, how it is that we choose what we actually want to spend our money on. You know what I mean? And maybe some of the ways that we think, that developers, and so forth, and publishers kind of put marketing plans together around the way that we shop. So, you and I talked the other day. We have always been fans of Dead Rising.
Absolutely.
We've always played together.
I've had it since part 1, and I am a true, like, I love Dead Rising. Like, it's just pure fun.
Right.
Zombies, I'm in it all day.
Right. Now, we're usually day one people when it comes to Dead Rising.
Yes, we are.
Okay? This year, Dead Rising didn't come out until, like, December 6th. Okay? And when we were talking, I was asking, like, okay, look, are we doing this? Because, like, I'm really not going to jump in and play Dead Rising by myself. Like, like, for the most part, we get in, we play together, we complete the game in co-op together. That's just how we play. Dead Rising is okay I could play it by myself, and sometimes we do. Like we still get in and mess around and do stuff and earn some
Right.
PP. For those of y'all who don't know what PP
go around
is,
and hunt for
look it
hidden
up.
stuff so that when the other person gets on, like, hey, look, let me tell you what I found. You get this jump for this gun. You know what I mean?
Right,
Stuff like that. Yeah.
right. Like yeah, PP's not vulgar. It's just
No, it's
that's
not.
what you
Yeah,
earn.
it's
It's
picture
just a
points.
nickname for
Something like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Doesn't really matter. It's still funny. It's PP.
PP.
So gotta get in this game, get this PP.
Right.
So we were having that conversation. It was like, all right, look, are we doing this thing? Yeah, what's up? And it's kind of like, look, to be honest with you, I'm probably, you said straight up, I'm probably not gonna touch it until like spring. You know what I'm saying, or something like that, right?
Yep.
So, and I know why that is, but again, mindset wise, explain to everyone listening like why that is, because again, right now we're 3 deep, into Dead Rising, and we've always been day one.
Yeah.
And always had a good time. Like really have no reason to be like, it's not important, whatever. Like we know we're gonna get in and enjoy it and have a good time. So why is this one different?
Well, this one is different because of Final Fantasy 15, straight up. Like Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy period is my favorite video game franchise. And considering that I've waited 10 years to get my hands on Final Fantasy 15, I know in all of my heart that once I get it, I'm not playing no other game unless it's something like Overwatch or Forza, like something I get in and have some fun with some friends. But like, I'm not moving from anything else. Same reason I didn't get what was it, Watch Dogs 2 that came out like 2 weeks ago. As bad as I want it, as bad as I want to play it, I know that in those 2 weeks, after those 2 weeks, when Final Fantasy drops, I'm not going anywhere near it again. So there's no point in me kicking out for me, would it be $90 because I'm gonna go get the deluxe version.
Yeah.
For it right now, I might as well wait till the spring around that time when the sale comes along to get it. Not that I wouldn't.
Right, you talking like Easter.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have a problem putting up the money for it. But if I know I'm not gonna play it no time soon, there's no point in me shelling out the money for it right now.
Right. So, on that note, what that really means is, to me, this is what I hear when I hear you say that is, it's because it's coming out too late. It's coming out after Final Fantasy. It's not specifically because of Final Fantasy, because the other games that you're mentioning that you're willing to jump in and play, again, like, I understand Watch Dogs a little bit better because technically Watch Dogs is a single player game. Yes, you can play some little things in it co-op. Right. It's not a co-op game. Right. Yes, you can play co-op, in it, but it's a single player game, Dishonored. Single player game, right? You're naming games like Forza. We jump on, we play, we run Forza together. Obviously, you can run Forza by yourself, but we jump in, we run Forza together. We'll run Overwatch together, which is a new purchase for us. Like, we know it's been around for a while. We played in the beta. Right. It just
them Black Friday deals
wasn't something that we jumped on right away. Yeah. So we jumped on. We got Overwatch. We'll still get in and play other games. You're still going to get in and play other games. But you want to dedicate the majority of your single player playing time specifically to
Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Now, I am going to dig a little bit into Final Fantasy in a second. So, but I want to finish up with Dead Rising. So, again, Dead Rising, we love the franchise.
We do.
Super enjoy the franchise. Think that the franchise is certainly worth spending the money on, but it is timing, right?
It absolutely is. And unlike the last one, this one has, you can't go through the story mode co-op. They have a co-op section of the game where you're locked inside the mall and y'all do stuff in the mall together.
Well, there's a 4-player co-op that's like that. But I think there's still just a regular 2-player co-op you can do through the game.
No, there isn't.
It's gone?
It's gone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone.
See, that's dumb.
It's gone.
But, so that makes it not, it's just bad timing.
It is.
Like, it really seems like they should have.
Well, you think they timed it this way on purpose because it takes place during Christmas in the game? Do you think that's why they put it later towards, like, around Christmas time?
No, I think that's why they're not waiting to put it out until spring.
Okay.
I think that the mistake that they're making is it ended up getting delayed.
Mm-hmm.
It should have come out earlier. right? Even though it takes place during Christmas, it should have come out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Cause nobody really wants to be in the way of Final Fantasy. Let's be real. But let's also remember that Final Fantasy got pushed back. Final Fantasy was supposed to come out in September.
Man, Final Fantasy supposed to have been out, but whatever.
Well,
Right,
yeah, but
right.
you
Yeah, they
understand, like
pushed
as
it
far
back.
as this year is
Yeah, they
concerned,
pushed it back.
it was supposed to come out in September. So, it's not like technically or originally if the date for Dead Rising was what it is, was gonna be what it is, that it actually would have been a problem technically. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Final Fantasy you can put a ton of hours into, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that because it's Christmas themed, they can't wait until February to put it out.
Right.
That's what I think. I think really the smart thing to do would be like, okay, if we try to put this out now, there's no way this game sells the way we really want and or need it to sell. And that is kind of twofold. And like the third one was exclusive to the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not exclusive.
Not at all.
But so even though there's a much larger group of people that can purchase it, also of course the last one came out was only on Xbox One and
The
came
day
out
one release. Yeah.
as a day one release. So obviously the amount of people who could be buying it is much higher now, especially being on multiple platforms
Yes.
than it was when the last one came out.
Yes.
So maybe there's this potential for them to make money just off that alone or break even. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe. But I seriously doubt it. And it has to be that it would be smarter to say, okay, you know what? Let's wait and put it out when there's nothing else in the way. Now that doesn't I mean there's been a lot of games that are falling back to like the February time, kind of thing. I mean, at that point you got Horizon coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it could be bad no matter what.
Yeah, Persona 5
But
just got pushed back to April. Yeah. And that was a
yeah,
February release. Yeah.
yeah. So it doesn't necessarily make it clean and clear, but I guess you kind of have to just say, all right, well, look, we're just gonna put our foot down, and this is where we're gonna put it, and if it dies, it dies. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like at some point, I guess you just got to make that decision. Um, but having said that, right? Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk for a second about what it is that you're picking Final Fantasy up on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
My intention is to pick up Final Fantasy on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that made you decide to buy it on the PlayStation 4?
Actually, a very simple reason. Like when I first got my PS4, um, really in my head, I had to come up with a reason. Like, okay, I have Xbox One. Besides exclusives, why do I? How do I explain buying a PS4 and make it make sense to my wife? You know what I mean? Like, like having a house now and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like budget wise, a little differently. So, one thing I decided I was going to do when I got my PS4 was the bulk of my multiplayer games. My multiplayer family, you, the rest of the Lone Snacks crew, Click, Chris, everybody is on the Xbox One. So that's where my multiplayer games will be purchased at. My single player
Mm-hmm.
experiences, I'm getting on the Xbox, on the PlayStation 4. So that's how I've been making my purchases throughout the year. And since Final
Gotcha.
Fantasy is a pretty much a single player game, that's why I was getting that one on that
Okay. So now that they have come out and said they're releasing DLC that's 4-player co-op,
one. Mm-hmm.
do you still get it on the PlayStation 4?
I do. But if it's dope enough, I'll be buying it again on the Xbox One.
That's terrible.
Hey, it is what it is.
You're right.
Like if it's really like if the multiplayer is that good when it finally comes out, and it's something kind of like how when Mass Effect 3 came out, it was just this big thing, and we all got wrapped into it. And that's all we played. If it's something on that
Right.
caliber, I will absolutely buy it over on Xbox One. Not even think about it.
Right. So here's the trick. I was kind of on the fence, right? Like, I mean, I don't have a lot of games for my PlayStation 4. I don't have a whole lot of reason to buy games on the PlayStation 4 unless they're exclusive to PlayStation 4. Um, so I was kind of on the fence, but then when they announced the co-op, I was like, well, That's Xbox all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the other thing about it is 4-player co-op DLC. But then it's like, okay, who else is getting it, and what are they getting it on?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as of right now, you're the only person who I know who's planning to get it for the PlayStation 4 specifically. I haven't talked to NuJoker. I'll have that conversation with him.
Okay.
I think he's planning to get. I don't even know if he cares about Final Fantasy, to be honest with you.
I
So
know he's
I don't
getting
know if
it, but
he's
I don't know like his enthusiastic level of it.
right.
But as a
Yeah,
gamer, I
and
know
I
he's getting
mean,
it.
but he's also a person who tends to buy, like, he'll buy both. He'll buy,
Oh, he'll
he'll
buy
buy a
both all
copy for both.
day. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
like,
day.
I'm not doing that. I can tell you that
Neither
now.
am
I'm
I.
not buying it on both.
Like this,
It's gonna
unless
be a
like
one time
right.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's gonna be a one time thing. Wherever I get it is where I got it. That's it. I'm not giving, like, Square ain't done nothing for me to earn two purchases. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've loved Final Fantasy for a long time. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
We go way back.
Mm-hmm.
Basically played every Final Fantasy except 14,
And I played that one. Yeah.
which, whatever. And so I have a lot of love for the franchise. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I played 13. I didn't play the sequels to
Neither did
13.
I. Neither did I.
Okay? But
I'll wait till they go backwards
let's
compatible, and then I might, yeah, yeah.
maybe. I don't even. More importantly, I played Lost Odyssey. We'll leave it at that. So, so when I get it, that's it. I'm like, that's what I'm getting, and I'm done with it. Um, but it also is like, okay, same like the people that you name, Lightning, Click Clack,
Mm-hmm.
like other people who I know are the kind of people who will normally buy a game like that, would play a game like that. Are they getting it where they getting it? And wherever they get it, that's more than likely where I do it. But 90%. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I don't know exactly when they're gonna put that DLC out, so I don't know how long it's gonna be before that even really
That's
matters.
very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they say it's coming. Who knows
And we know
when?
that's the last piece of DLC that's coming out.
Right. But it's also, it's also one of those things where, like, I mean, it's not that Square doesn't do DLC or stuff like that. Obviously, they have multiplayer, massively multiplayer
Right.
online. But for something like this, it's not something normal they do. And secondly, they've never done like co-op, like, really at all, for a Final Fantasy game that wasn't a massively multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm extremely interested, but it could be
It
terrible.
could be.
I have super faith and a lot of high hopes, and the reason why has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. The reason why I have high hopes for it is because of, like, Airgeist. You
Ooh.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh.
it's because of other stuff that Square
Right.
used to do. You know what I'm saying? That I just really, you know what I
It
mean?
has
Like,
all the potential for greatness is there.
yeah. Yeah. Like, they do other stuff that's so good, but just doesn't get any, there's no push behind it, so it just doesn't do anything.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I mean, like, I'm about it. Like, I'm about it. It's just, where do I get it? You know what I mean? Again, I'm only gonna do it once. So that's it.
So where's that purchase gonna be placed? I got you.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, more than likely, it's gonna be on the Xbox One. Here's part of the reason why that is. I know the way I play games like this. I know the way I play games like Final Fantasy specifically. I'll probably still be playing this game next year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I know good and well that one of the other reasons why I might consider going to the PlayStation is because it's probably gonna look better, might even run better.
Probably.
But
I'll take that.
I know whatever that Scorpio is next year, I'm getting it,
Mm-hmm.
and I want it on that joint. I want it on that joint. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna buy it again. I'm not gonna buy it again. And that's crazy to me that, like, I'm thinking about the way I buy stuff now
Mm-hmm.
based on a purchase that I plan to make in like a year, maybe a year.
I plan on having
They
this
might
joint.
surprise
I
me
plan on
with
having this
something.
joint beat by the time Scorpio come out.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I get that.
But
I
the
completely
key
get
word
that.
though
But
was
here's
I
but
plan on it.
right.
That's
Not only that,
mm,
but if it turns out that the 4-player co-op DLC is something that you can keep going back and playing, and it's not just like a play one time, go through a little story or whatever, and then you're done, and there's no
right,
reason, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Then I you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
If it's one of them
Um,
keep going over unlocking packs and new outfits and new weapons and all that kind of stuff, then
yeah,
that is a problem.
yeah,
That is a serious problem.
yeah, yeah. Um, but you know what? Also on that note, I mean, again, just kind of looking at the way we make our buying decisions. Like, I didn't get Titanfall. I wanted it. I didn't do it. I played a little bit of Battlefield, but I have EA access, so that was cool. Like, I dig it. I'd like to put some money into it, but I just right now it's not sitting at the top of my list. I made the decision to do Dishonored
Mm-hmm.
rather than jump into any of the first person shooters, but everybody is claiming that all of them are good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, "Yep, you know what I mean? Call of Duty." I don't again,
Nah, I'm with you.
the
Like my
issue
purchase has been going the same way. Like something comes out and I'm like, right now I'm focusing on pretty much 100% Yakuza 5. But
yeah.
like I know I'm not gonna play nothing else but this. So there's no point in me going out to
Yeah.
try to grab Titanfall right now because I'm buying Titanfall for the story.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, look,
it's
real talk.
yeah.
I was super enjoying Dishonored 2, and then Watch Dogs hit, and I was like, all right, let me jump in this Watch Dogs 2, see what it is. Now I can't stop. Like, I can't go back. Like, I tried to go back to Dishonored 2,
But
and it's like, Dishonored 2, the gameplay is so heavy. Like, it's just so much going on. It's just so heavy by comparison that it's not like you can't just get in. Like, Watch Dogs is one of those games where, like, I'll come home and be like, I really don't have time to do this, but I'm gonna just get in and mess around for a few minutes. I'll go take care of this one. Like, I'm gonna go get this, little
right,
collectible or do this
right.
little thing. Next thing I know, I've been playing for an hour, hour and a half, something like that. And I'm like, man, I need to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's like
it
the same way
just,
with Yakuza with me. I couldn't like, you know what? Let me go knock out a side mission real quick. Then as I'm running around, this pops up, that pops up. I'm like, ah. And then you know what I'm saying? You're locked into it without even thinking. And it's funny. I
yeah,
was talking to Chris. I was talking to Chris about how you talk about the difference between like Dishonored being more heavy and then what's the name? I was talking to Chris Lighted about Xenoverse. Like I've hardly touched Xenoverse. I'm like, that's one of them games
yeah,
where there's so much going on. There's so many things, kind of like with the way they structured everything, and the gameplay is one of those type of games where if you take a little bit of time off, you're gonna forget how to play the game completely. Like, and I
yeah,
tried to jump in it real quick
yeah.
the other day, and I got whooped by something I wasn't supposed to get whooped by. And I was like, you know what? I got Yakuza on the brain. I can't play nothing else until I'm done with Yakuza. Like,
Right.
I just can't focus on anything else but this game right
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I go into the store on the consoles and I look and I'm like, man. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna be real with you. Last Guardian's not even on my radar. Like, I can care less right now.
look,
It's not something that matters to
I
me
already told
at
you. I already
all.
told you I feel. I'm gonna wait till it's on sale then get it, and it's got to be a good sale. But it's
I mean, I have to see what the reviews are like because the
and
early
that too.
reviews are already kind of like, I mean, it's not that it's bad, but it feels really old and clunky. You know, it feels like it's PS2, early PS3. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's just not gonna fly. Like, you can't have my money for that. You can't make me wait too long and then this long and then do that. Like, it's just not. You know what I mean? Like, if you make me wait this long for something, then you need to show me that you were doing something to it that brought it into this, this
Like
decade.
they did with Final Fantasy. Like when stuff was going wrong with that,
Yeah,
they pretty much
yeah,
scrapped the whole thing and started over
and just
from the
all
drawing
right,
board.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's kind of where it needs to
yeah.
be for me. Um, but look, I mean, again, as far as as far as the decisions that are made when it comes to this, as adults that have other things to do,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to trying to make that decision about how and when you're gonna spend that money, you kind of have to really consider not just what it's gonna cost you, but when you're gonna have time to actually
And
play
look,
it.
I'm 100% with you. That's how my purchases have been made lately. Like, am I gonna have time to sit down and play this? Knowing I got this now. I still got to finish this game. Like, and look, like when you send out the text, to all of us like, hey, look, Overwatch is $35. Is
Yeah.
everybody getting on this before I decide to
Yeah.
make this purchase?
Yeah.
Like, it's very
And of
real.
course, the first person to say, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna be on it," hasn't been on it
Not,
once
nope,
since that.
nope.
I don't even know if they bought it for real.
All right. Well, wait. No,
I'm gonna
NuJoker
leave it
did.
alone.
NuJoker did. He sent a picture.
NuJoker did. I know NuJoker did.
Yeah, but I don't know about the other one
He wasn't the one who was like, "Oh, I'm."
I sent you the 2 weeks
So anyway,
before, like
yeah,
should we
we
jump out
talked
there?
about it.
Yeah,
Like,
and then it happened. Like,
yeah,
all right, so let's jump out there.
it's on sale. Let's do. I mean, here's the other thing. Like, I didn't grab Mafia 3. I want it.
I want it
You
bad,
know,
and that's one of the ones I'm waiting
people
for.
seem people seem to love the story, but not necessarily the mechanics. That's cool. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I'm interested enough to maybe put
Yeah,
some money into it, but I'm not necessarily willing to put $60 into it
I got.
when there's other stuff. So I'm like looking at it. Okay, Black Friday sale. It's on sale, and it's a decent price. I think it's like $42 or something like that. It's not terrible. It's gonna go on sale again. I'm not really worried
Exactly.
about
So
that,
like that's one of the things. Got to wait till like
and
springtime.
I
I
don't.
gotta.
I don't have time.
Yep.
But the other thing about it is something else will be out.
It will.
In the spring, something else will be out that I want to play right then and there. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that thing kind of never goes away. It just doesn't. It just doesn't go away. You know what I mean? And like when you're look, I'm right now it's Christmas. So like I feel bad spending money on myself when I got to get stuff for people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot more happening here that, you know what I mean? Like, I got other people to get stuff for. So, like if I'm going to do something, even if it is a really good Black Friday deal, I got to make use of those Black Friday deals to get stuff for other
Hey,
people.
I feel you. After Final Fantasy, like I'm done. Christmas around the corner.
Right.
I'm going to
Right.
Iceland in first week of January. Like,
it's going to be,
yeah, like
it's going to be, I gotta, yeah, college.
yeah, yes, you do.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm, look, just to kind of put it in perspective, right? There's always a possibility that, she gets a full ride.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not.
You
know what I'm saying? Like you can't bank on that.
Bank on that.
Yeah, you can't bank on that, right? And it's not about the savings or what you already have or whatever. It's about the unseen things, the things that you don't necessarily think about when it's time to start doing that. You know what I mean? Like so.
Because we've been talking.
Those things.
Yeah,
it's a lot. So
it's real.
I mean, she got another acceptance letter yesterday.
Oh, sweet.
It's not a full ride. It's a lot of money, but it's not a full ride. Still it's a good deal. And this is where she wants to go. You know what I'm saying? Where the one she got that was a full ride, she don't want to go there. They don't even have a program she wants, so it doesn't matter to her. That you know what I mean. So it's just a matter of kind of looking at everything. And when we have all of that going on, it's really hard to kind of look at it. And I do also think that like having these consoles that kind of come out in the middle, this PS4 Pro thing, and it's kind of like, okay, well, what about just Final Fantasy 15 PS4 Pro? You know what I mean? 4K it up, doing on that. Is it really gonna look any better, run any better, be any better on whatever the power of the actual Scorpio is gonna be next year? You know what I'm saying? Is it worth it for me to just be like, all right, well, let me just trade in this PlayStation? You know what I'm saying? Like right now they got deals. You can trade in the system. You get $150 for it. Put it towards a PS4 Pro. Grab the Pro, and then grab Final Fantasy on that. You see what I'm saying? Like yeah. You know what I mean? But of course, then I gotta buy a TV. So still,
that's what it comes down to. Like, without the TV, it's no point of having
it. Yeah. But I'll be ready when the TV comes. You see what I'm saying?
That you will be.
Because I definitely know I'm gonna have a TV before the Scorpio hits.
Yeah,
there's no two ways about that.
That's a plan for next year. I gotta figure out and get into play.
Yeah.
To somehow get a TV that I don't need before the Scorpio comes out.
Yeah, nah, I need a TV.
Well, I'm talking about as far as bringing it down.
Nah, I know.
Yeah, bringing it down to her for something we don't need to spend a lot of money on. So I gotta figure out. I gotta figure something out. Like maybe it'll have an accident, quote unquote.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Oops, I spilled water on the TV. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, trust me, I get it. Um, but look, yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch base on it. I think it's a very interesting kind of where we sit and how because most of these games, if you think about them, most of these games are mature titles
Yeah.
that are really geared towards people who can make those purchases for themselves
Mm-hmm.
and spend that money for themselves on themselves. It's not. I mean, those major games are not games that are geared towards, to me, children who are like, oh, I want Dishonored 2 for Christmas. Like, I don't think any kid is like, I want Dishonored 2. They might be, I want Call of Duty. I'm sure there's that.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Battlefield, Call of Duty. Yep.
Maybe Battlefield, maybe Titanfall, but definitely Call of Duty. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But really, these games for the most part, I feel like are geared towards us. So when it comes to like having to make that decision about, making that purchase, to me, it's just as much about the amount of time that you have to put towards them as it is the amount of money you got to put into it and when. It's kind of like, well, if I can't do it now, when I am ready to do it, or when I do have the time to do it, it's going to be cheaper. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, or I'll be able to wait for a good deal in order to do
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got stuff sitting in the queue though, bruh.
Dog,
I
we
mean, I'm
both
backed
do.
up.
We both do, dog. We both. I
Yeah,
got stuff. I got stuff. I'm pinning what I do now on my Xbox. I pin stuff in order that I'm gonna go through and beat.
I hear
You know
you.
what I mean? So I just knocked out
I'm
Hardline. I'm on that old Deus Ex from the 360 right now. God, the controls are killing
yeah.
me. I'm just running and gunning.
See, I'm pressed. All my pins are in alphabetical order.
Mm.
It's bad. Like I'm like my pins are in alphabetical order and they're categorized
My,
by like all of my TV apps and stuff like
mm-hmm,
that. Like so like Instagram, not Instagram, Amazon. I don't know why I say Instagram. Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, and like movies and TV, they're alphabetical. They're the first section of my pins.
mm-hmm.
Then whatever's after that, as far as like apps or games, like they're broken down like that, and then the games are alphabetized. And if when I come home and turn the box on, and I go to my pins, and they're not in alphabetical order, boy, I have a moment. I mean, like somebody been messing with my pins. Who is messing with my pins?
That's yeah. Who would mess with your pins? That's the scary part.
Exactly. It can only be one person, and she swears it ain't her. But them joints be they be wrong, bro. I be in my feelings, like yo,
Yeah, I got my joint set up
this
by level
joint,
of importance.
nah, it's trifling. Like I'm like, all right, look, this joint is not Rainbow Six Siege. It is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This joint goes with the T's.
Oh
Like
my
it don't
gosh.
go with the R's. Like I'm dead serious. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's bad.
Yeah,
It's bad.
yeah, that is bad.
Um, yeah. So look, let me ask you this then. What's the first thing you want to buy like going into the spring that's out like right now? Of the games that have like come out that you want that have come out this holiday, what's the first thing that you haven't got that you want to pick up?
Watch Dogs 2.
What is it?
Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely is Watch Dogs 2. Like I can feel it in me. Like as much as other stuff I want, like Mafia 3 and
Yeah.
Titanfall and stuff, but that's out right now. It's Watch Dog 2 is the one that's got me scratching at the walls right now.
No.
It really is.
Watch
Like
Dogs
I
is
had fun with the first one,
crack.
but I've been looking very, very forward to the second one. I like everything I've seen from it so far. Like, yeah,
Bruh.
yeah, that
This
jump I've been
joint
looking for,
is
that improvement I've been looking for is here. Like,
it's way, bruh. Like, let me just tell you how like you earn the ability to do stuff like call the police on people.
mm,
Not like, okay, you basically can like hack somebody and tell them like you can basically fake evidence on somebody and have the police come arrest them,
mm,
right? Or you can actually like have gang members come attack them like, yo, this is the snitch, this the person, this is
oh,
the snitch right here, whatever. So like you're trying to infiltrate something or whatever, and like you like, you know what? I'm gonna just have this gang show up. They'll infiltrate, and while these dudes are all distracted fighting, I'm gonna just sneak in, grab what I gotta get, and I'm gonna get out.
Right.
Let them kill each other. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's cool. But here's the thing. I'm stupid. So I do stuff like, listen, I was on like they have a fake Google campus called Noodle.
Okay.
So I'm on their campus, just walking around, like I'm just walking around or whatever. And you can do stuff like you can wave at people or like you can flirt, you know what I'm saying, with people, stuff like
Okay.
that or whatever, right? So I'm just messing around because you can. So I'm in the joint and this girl is talking to this guy. So I walk over and I interrupt and I start flirting with her, right? I just want to see what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause she's having a conversation. So she like usually like when you flirt with a girl or something like that, most of the time at least that I've done it, usually they just turn around and go, hey, they wave at you, something like that. Like you really can't take it any further than that, but that's not really the point.
Mm-hmm.
So she just kind of was like, she was rude. You know what I'm saying? Like she was rude. So I was like, oh, that's how you feel? I'm gonna go over here and sit on this car real quick. Call these boys on you.
Oh.
Had them come arrest you, right? So I put the thing in. Now, when you do it, you don't have any say so over like what they're arresting them for. But like you can see on the screen that like as you're setting it up, like as you're doing it, it only takes like a button press or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like as you're doing it, like it'll be like you've faked evidence that they're like child molester or faked evidence that, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So like I fake the evidence or whatever, and I just sit back and watch. She just having a conversation with the dude. Police pull up, jump out, pull the guns out, right? 2 police officers show up, right? Like, let's not have any trouble. She kind of like puts her hands up. The dude just kind of backs up, like, what's going
Right.
on? You know what I mean? Kind of thing, right? So then the police officers, one of them's holding their gun on her. The other one begins to approach her, right? Bruh, she tried to take off.
Oh.
So look, she starts running. So they chase her, hit her, knock her down, climb on top of her, put the cuffs on her, make her get up, tell her walk to the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get in the back seat. So they follow her as she's walking to the car to get in the back seat. Okay. How she opens the door by herself, I haven't figured that out yet. But she opens the car, gets in the car. Now here's the thing. You also, I'm sure you've seen in like the trailer and stuff like that. Like you can get the ability to actually like control cars and stuff like that.
Did you drive her ass into the lake?
Slim, no, I didn't. No, but she got in the car, and I just hit the button, made the car take off. So she's in the car takes off. The police are like, "What? She's still in our car." They start chasing her down. Now it won't go but so far. Like the car won't go but so far, but they run, chase the car down. She gets out of the car. They're like, she's trying to escape. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, right? Because the car just took off. She's trying to escape. They just start shooting at her. Hey, dog. It's almost crazy. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
That is
It has
funny.
nothing to do with anything, but now it's a thing that I just do.
So now you
Like-
just want to flirt with youngins, and the second they come out their mouth sideways and be disrespectful, you get them locked up.
Anybody though, it doesn't even have to be that. Just anybody. Like you know how sometimes like in a game, like open world game, like you're running down the street or you just moving, and like
Grand
people kind
theft.
of get out your way, but they say something smart to you
And
or
you
whatever,
run and punch them in their mouth.
bruh. So I don't hit people anymore. I
You
just
pull out that cell
call the boys.
phone.
Or I call these gang members in. You know what I'm saying? They just show up and start bodying people.
I
You know
need
what I'm saying?
that jump.
And I'm just like, man. And this the thing. The gang members drive like some dope muscle joints. So like they'll show up. I'll be like, that joint's kind of nice. I just jump in that joint.
Get that
take
jump
off.
real quick.
Hey, the joints mean like. So now I'm like, I want to be mad at you because I want to play some co-op.
I know.
But you know, it is what it is.
Uh,
It is what it is. Anyway, look, let's go ahead and wrap it up real quick. We're gonna take a quick break. When I come back, NuJoker's gonna be with me. We're gonna rap for a little bit, and then we'll shut the show down. Like normal. So say bye to the people, Sin.
I'm getting out of here.
You're kicking them out.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let them
Kicking them out.
do what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
So-
we're kicking them out.
I'll holler at y'all later.
All right. We're about to take a quick break. Welcome back. Episode 45. Got NuJoker in the building with me. Sin is gone from the building. NuJoker is back in the building. That's how we do. Right, Jokes? How you feeling?
Pretty good. How you feeling, man?
A little tired. That's, that comes with the territory. It's what we're busy people doing busy things.
True that.
So check this out. Over the past week, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was an article I came across where Kevin Feige at Marvel Studios said that it would be an impossibility currently for Marvel and Fox to come to an agreement the way that Marvel and Sony came to an agreement for the use of Spider-Man. Meaning that no X-Men, no Wolverine, no Deadpool. Like, it's not happening. There was a lot of speculation, Fantastic Four, stuff like that. Like, I heard some things. We talked about it a little bit on the show before. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it hurts. It really hurts. It's like I still don't want to believe in the never happening. I mean, never is a very long time. Very, very long time.
I mean, I guess technically he didn't say never. He just said an impossibility currently. Which, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, with right now, I mean, I could believe it. Like, I mean, this battle has been going on for a long time now. So,
Yeah.
And at this point, I mean, Marvel's showing no points of slowing down on any movies or anything. So, I mean, I think the agreement it could happen eventually. It's really just time and what is going to take to break down that barrier.
I mean, look. So here's the thing that saddens me, I think, the most about this. It's a little bit less of, I think at this point I've decided that I don't even necessarily want the 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 characters that Fox has the rights to for movies. I don't even necessarily want them in the MCU. And I say that because at this point, we're too far gone. Like, we don't have mutants. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, they don't exist. Like, I don't even know how you really write that in without, like, really throwing a curveball, using Doctor Strange and being like, well, yeah, there's all these other multiverses or whatever. But that essentially means rehashing or almost rebooting every other, you know what I mean? Every other franchise you've essentially started that has to do with the MCU. You know what I'm saying? In order to make space
Right.
for this. What the thing that saddens me about it is that clearly Fox is making money. You know what I mean with
Oh,
these
no doubt.
franchises. I mean, at least in terms of X-Men, and what they've been able to do with that and Wolverine and with Deadpool clearly now. And um but I don't like I feel like the X-Men movies, at least this last X-Men movie was terrible. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't good. And the Fantastic Four movie was terrible. And I feel like, it's weird because Fox is in this place where, like, based on what the contract is, it's like they have to have a movie in the works or be working on it every certain number of years in order to be able to keep the rights to the characters or whatever. And it feels like they don't really care. It feels like there's tension that exists between Fox, Disney, Marvel that is just like, we just don't like you. So we're just going to do something. And we almost don't care if it doesn't do well. You still can't have it back, kind of thing. And I'm at the point now where I don't necessarily need the Fantastic Four. I think would be easy to kind of shoehorn into what's going on in the rest of the MCU because they're not mutants.
Right.
X-Men is a completely different ball game. To me, you might as well just leave that alone. I could see them taking the Fantastic Four and finding a way to put them in with the rest of the MCU. However, what I would really like is for them to have a separate X-Men universe that doesn't really have anything to do with the MCU. Even if you treat it like, yeah, there's a multiverse thing and X-Men and mutants exist here. You know what I mean? And
That could work.
you could even use an excuse like a House of M or something where in the universe that we've been seeing with uh, the Avengers, the House of M thing happened and mutants just don't get born or just never happen. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I would like to see Marvel and Disney have a crack at making a freaking X-Men movie.
I really would love to see that at this point. It's like, I mean, as much as I enjoy Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, it's just some of the stories, like it's just, ugh. I guess would be the easiest way to say it. And I mean, with Marvel getting a crack at what's really theirs in the sense of saying, I mean, it could just open up a whole new world of possibilities in actually having the X-Men in the MCU. Like,
I
just
just need them to
so many
be under that
possibilities.
fold. You know what I mean? Like I don't again, I'm not I'm kind of past earlier on I was very much the I want to see the X-Men get involved in this, in this world, in this universe, be part of this franchise. You know what I mean? But now I'm just at the point where it's like, okay, clearly Fox is far more interested in the strength of the person that they cast in the role than they are in what the franchise is actually supposed to be. So it's funny
Hmm.
because I was having a discussion with a young lady at work. Um, this might have, I guess, yesterday. And she just saw X-Men Apocalypse like the other day. And she was like, it wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't as bad as like people were making it out to be. She said it wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be. And I'm like, you're tripping. That movie was bad. And I know that we were kind of at odds and in terms of like you didn't dislike that movie, did you?
How about this? I haven't seen it.
Oh, see that's terrible. You should see it so that you can agree with me. But
Oh, trust me. I refused in the beginning. I wasn't gonna buy it just from everything that I've
yeah,
heard. But it was a Black Friday sale, and I got it for $3. So
yeah, that's what she did.
I said, yeah, let me go ahead and grab that right now so I can see it. So it's on its way here to me now. So I should have it probably tomorrow,
Okay,
and so
here's the
I can
thing.
finally see it.
Here is my issue with the movie and with what has happened to the X-Men franchise as a whole. Um there has been Jennifer Lawrence, I understand, is a Hollywood powerhouse. I don't completely get it. I don't completely know why, but I understand it. Like she does do good films. She's okay. I don't necessarily really like her in the X-Men franchise. I don't think she's terrible, right? But her strength and popularity in terms of who she is as an actress
Hmm.
has made Fox make her the center of the
The
franchise.
franchise, and I don't like that, especially because don't get me wrong, I like Mystique, but at no point was Mystique like the leader,
That's
the person
right.
rallying everybody together. I'm kind of
Right.
like, what?
Right. She has her moments in the comic books where she plays an important, maybe you could even say a quasi important role, but she's not the focal point. And truthfully, I don't think it's impossible for her to be an interesting character that could be a lead, but I feel like her role as a character might be too conflicted for it to work well because she's not a hero, so to
Right.
speak. And she's not the person that you follow. Like the thing that made the first, and I mean like the very first X-Men movie a good movie when you look at it now, it's kind of like, ugh. But it was about the X-Men. Yes, Wolverine kind of took over the show, stole the show a little bit, but it was still
Hmm.
about them and the team. And the thing about it was, even with Wolverine kind of stealing the show, that's how the comic book was. When
Right.
Wolverine became a full-fledged member of the X-Men, he stole the show. You know what I mean? All the rest of the characters are important, but there was an importance to the dynamic of the team that came from him being such a loner and not really liking working with the team, definitely not liking Cyclops, and you know what I mean? Like, and all those elements were there. And First Class, I thought, was a great reboot. I really liked
Hmm.
First Class. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the characters that they chose to make the First Class, so to speak, if we're gonna go, well, the comic book was this way. But let's just be honest, we need to establish that the cinematic universe for any comic book movie exists outside of the comic book universe. You know what I mean? It's just kind of how it
True.
has to be treated. So, yeah, things are different and the characters are a little bit different, and how they do things is different, but I feel like they relied too heavily. I mean, it's the same thing they do with Hugh Jackman. It's just that Hugh Jackman is nowhere near, in my opinion, the Hollywood star that Jennifer Lawrence is.
True.
He is the Wolverine star. Like, his biggest thing is him being Wolverine. So for them to kind of focus on him and center things around him and give him solo movies works and made sense. Sort of. But I feel like they almost tried to do that same thing with her. And I feel like somewhere down the line, like, their plan was, we're going to do standalone Mystique movies. You know what I mean? And you can't. Like, it just stop. Um, so it's like the last movie focused too much on her and who she was and the story that she is, when really it should be more focused on Xavier and what's going on with him and what's happening with his team. You know what I mean? And his people, and he should be leading his team and his people, and they need to step their special effects up, like way up.
Hmm.
Like way up, like all the way up. Um because they just look bad. Like, they look terrible. It looks cheesy. And I don't know if that's Singer and his team. You know what I mean? It ain't working for me. But I do think um that having Marvel have creative control over those franchises would be an amazing thing. And I don't want them in the MCU, so to speak. Again, I could deal with Fantastic. I don't really need. We don't need Fantastic Four or anything for real.
At this point.
We just don't. Like, we don't really need them, but they could play an integral part in the MCU as it stands. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mr. Fantastic would be an awesome person. Just as his mind to have within the MCU would be an awesome thing to have.
I mean, again, you just got to look at the whole picture and go, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy, space stuff. Fantastic Four deals with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, they just do. They deal with that kind of stuff. So I think that they would be, they could be a good, you know, addition to the MCU. The X-Men don't need to be that. But it's not even just that. It's the plethora of characters that would be available to Marvel to use, even if they didn't use straight up the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like, there are a ton of characters that fall into that line. And I would just rather see them have creative control over it. Um, but here's my question for you. Let's say that Marvel did get creative control.
Hmm.
What would you want them to do? Story wise, character wise, even if you do have them pull them into the MCU, what would be your ideal scenario? comic book story? What would you have them do? Or how would you have them integrate them into what's currently going on?
Honestly, I probably would end up wanting them to do another reboot again. I think at this point, um,
Just like a brand new X-Men.
maybe not a. I don't want to necessarily say a brand new origin story, but maybe kind of how like they're doing with Spider-Man and Homecoming. Like they gave him the introduction more in Civil War to give him that preview of what he looked like.
Right.
Kind of maybe that feel to it, because I mean, if you use like some of your main characters, obviously like your Storm, your Wolverine, your Cyclops, your Jean Grey, I don't think you necessarily need to retell the origins of their piece. Same thing, Professor X, like we know these characters.
Right.
And I don't think you have to start completely fresh over again. But I think as much as I would love to see Patrick Stewart come back as Professor X, like I love Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
Yeah.
Almost, I think for them to come over to the MCU, I think they should just start from scratch again.
Okay.
And with Logan coming out, I mean, this is kind of that. I think we're going to see that this is the end of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and then potentially we're going to see the end of Professor X. So with that happening, I think that would be a good fresh start for them to bring in, because like as another character, I hated the original Cyclops. They made him into an absolute punk. As much as
I
just like you said,
mean, I hate Cyclops anyway. So I don't. That worked perfectly for me.
so as much as they let Wolverine come in and be that main person, Cyclops kind of just got thrown to the side, and then of course in
I
X
mean,
Men
they killed
3,
him, son.
that's what I was about to, that's what I was about to say. In X3, like when Jean killed him, I was kind of like, oh.
Oh, that joke was perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you were jumping for joy at that one.
He's weak, dude. Like, I don't like Cyclops, bruh. I just don't like him. I don't like him. He whines too much. Like, yeah, I don't like
I'll agree with
Cyclops.
that.
I don't like him. I don't like him. He's whack. Okay, so you would want to see them do a full-on reboot. What about, okay, so here's kind of where I sit. Again, I don't necessarily want them to be integrated into the MCU, so to speak. I don't even know that I would want them to do an X-Men movie. I think see, the thing is, again, I want them to have creative control over all of that. Like, I want them to have the rights back to it, because I think they should do like an X-Force movie. Like, I would want to
Okay.
see old school, like 90s X-Force, Cable, Ferrell, Shatterstar, Domino. Like, I want to see, like, I think that a team like that has characters nobody knows, but they are mutants, and you can, you could do a quick kind of explanation of this, there's this thing that's happening to people when they're adolescent, blah, 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 whatever. Just whatever. However you got to do it. You know what I mean? But the idea of we've seen the mainline X-Men enough times, I think now, that we don't need that anymore. And I think that's kind of what's smart about what's happening with the MCU in terms of the Avengers, where it feels to me, and we talked about this before, like they are replacing the original Avengers with
Yeah.
new Avengers, because they're getting old. You know what I mean? You just can't keep making, Robert Downey Jr. be Iron Man because he's getting old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure, yeah.
there will come a point where it just can't be done anymore. You know what I mean? These actors who are playing these roles, a lot of them are in their late 40s, early 50s. And so they're great actors. They're great movies, but in terms of these characters and the way they work and comic books, because people don't generally age, you know what I mean? In comic books, like, it's just, at some point you have to reboot it or come up with a new idea that allows you to kind of move past it. And I think the idea of a Captain America kind of going into retirement, I mean, Chris is young, but going into retirement or being the person who trains a new team of people who take on that role that he has envisioned is important. And so I think that having done X-Men over and over again, having already rebooted the franchise once, that doing another reboot, let's be real. It's very difficult to get away with rebooting something like that multiple times. Spider-Man, they got away with doing it, or they're getting away with doing it, maybe. It's been rebooted once, and you've seen him again, but the reboot hasn't happened yet. So maybe that's where Marvel makes their first misstep. We don't know. We'll soon see, right? But
Yep.
Spider-Man is that popular, and he is a solo character, right? But he is a comic book character that is very, very, very well known for being involved in everybody else's business. Being in the Fantastic Four, being in the Avengers, being, having cameos, having other characters cameo in his comic book, stuff like that. Like, it just kind of works. And you can do that and have him in a cartoon and have him in another cartoon and all. Like, you can do that with him. The X-Men is much harder to do that with because you have so many personalities to balance. And when you're doing something like that and it doesn't work the way the Avengers worked, because the Avengers started as solo films,
Right.
you can't really do, like, we're not doing a Storm film. Like, just let's not even stop it. You know what I mean? You can't do a Beast film. I would like for there to be an Iceman film, but let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really do it. The X-Men is the X-Men. It has to be a team film. You can't build the franchise around it by saying, okay, well, we're going to give this person and this person and this person solo films, and then we're going to do this thing where we bring it all together. It's too late for that.
Too late at this point.
So I would like to see them utilize the X franchise for what its possibilities are, but I don't think we need to see any of those characters anymore. Like, I just think we're beyond that. And so, maybe Wolverine, maybe, you could reboot that if you find the right person, but man, that's going to be hard. You know what I mean? I don't think people are ready for that. So I think you go, if Disney had control over that franchise, I think you go X-Force. I don't think Excalibur you could do. You could, maybe. But I think you go X-Force. And you introduce characters that people haven't really had a chance to see yet, that happen to have powers, and then you use that to introduce mutants. And then you can kind of build a separate set of franchises. You know what I mean? Maybe. Outside of that, when you start looking at other characters that maybe have their own books or solo things or whatever. But I don't think that, I just don't see a reboot. I don't see a reboot being able to be successful and be tied into the current MCU. If that makes sense.
It does.
But I would maybe like to see them get their hands on some of the really good villains that are mutants. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we just keep Magneto. You know what I mean? We only see the X-Men, but maybe we just keep Magneto somehow, some way. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think if you took some of the other X franchises, it might work. I think that might be okay. But I don't know. It looks like we're never going to get that. So sad, right?
Not at this point, yeah. It's a sad moment.
Yeah. I also think I kind of like to see them get control, because I think we could get some really good games.
Absolutely.
If they
We're
had...
still waiting on that Ultimate Alliance. Like, I just want that so bad.
What are they doing, man? I need an Ultimate Alliance 3 real bad. Like, real bad. But they could do, like... I mean, considering the last one was Civil War. You know what I mean? But so many mutants, man. I mean, obviously games they have a little bit different control over. But I'd almost like to see some movie tie-ins. I think it could work. But anyway. Yeah, I'd like to see it. It ain't gonna happen. Or what do you think Fox is gonna do with it?
It's almost like you said. It's like they just want to be like, oh, we don't care anymore, and just let it just like die.
I mean,
Just
they've done some of the biggest X-Men storylines that there are, unless you go into stuff like House of M. You know what I mean, or something like that. So, what do they do? What else? What else do they do with them now that this trash came out? Like, what do you do?
either they're gonna have they need to do something fresh, just like you said,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like if they don't want to do it, just pass the ball. Just pass it. Let Marvel and Disney let them work with it.
Yeah,
Give them the opportunity.
it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I'd be excited though, but it ain't gonna happen. I would like to see maybe some of the Netflix stuff brought to the big screen. I think some of that stuff could work.
I think it could.
There's something really special about it being episodic though. Even though you binge watch it, you know what I mean? There is something really special about the way they kind of drag it out because it has more of a comic book feel to it. Because it's just like getting it, getting an episode is like getting an issue.
Hmm.
So I think there is something special about it, and I do like that it's a little more grown. It's not outside of the realm of regular comics though, which works for me. You know what I mean? Like you read comics like that, and I mean, Jessica Jones was a little. I mean, it was a little. Yeah, it was a little. That was a little extra. You know what I mean? Like it was. There's a lot of sex in that. But I don't know. I would like to really see them. I don't want Fox to reach out and start doing characters we don't know like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that
No,
would be a good idea. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Should we start a petition?
we could try it. I mean,
I think we should boycott Fox movies until they give it back. Just don't go.
I mean, I won't mind another Deadpool though. Deadpool's fine to me.
Yeah, but right now I'm having issues because Deadpool feels like it's in trouble because they just lost their director or their writer, one of them.
One of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little unnerving. There's a lot of pressure for something like that for a movie that was made for as little as they made it for, that made the kind of money that they made it. Now you got to look at Fox for what they are and what they've done with X-Men, and they want to overdo it. You know what I mean? And they need to just like let my man do his thing like he did last time, and but when there's big money like that involved, they're gonna have a much bigger budget, all that kind of stuff, and it's like they start bringing in people who really shouldn't have control over things and allowing them to have control over things, and I just feel like they're going to mess it up now. You know what I mean? So I'm concerned about that. Almost as much as I'm
Fox don't
concerned
ruin it.
about like DC's movies. I'm concerned about DC's movies. Wonder Woman's looking good right now.
Wonder Woman is looking very good.
That first trailer didn't really do it for me. Second trailer was kind of strong. But they did the same thing with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad wasn't. It wasn't bad.
It was okay. I think that's just it was okay.
It just didn't. The story wasn't good. Like the movie, the action in the movie wasn't bad. The characters aren't necessarily unlikable or whatever. There was a lot of potential there. They just flubbed the story, I think. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about their films right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
DC can just stick to the TV shows. I'll be happy with that.
You know what? And that might not be so bad, but like Arrow lost me. So I never bothered to jump on Flash. Like I watched a bit of the first season. But I'm not. I'm like I'll wait until this one's over and then I'll play catch up.
Yeah. Flash so far. Flash not bad. Season 5 of Arrow, I think they've I think they've begun to find what they were missing. They kind of went back to the roots with the show.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of a different. It's got the team feel back, but before like the Olicity and like all of that happened. So I'm enjoying it so far. What else we got? Legends of Tomorrow. It's not bad.
I haven't watched
Some
any of that.
points, at some points, it's like it could go anywhere just because of the whole time scenario. Like it can just go anywhere, and it could take one wrong turn, and it just absolutely ruin it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then of course, I'm fully caught up on Supergirl. I thoroughly enjoyed Supergirl so far,
Yep. Supergirl's
and
pretty good.
now with this 4-part crossover that's about to occur, I'm like I'm losing it because I didn't realize this at first.
Uh-huh.
I posted about this on Instagram. If you take the most recent pictures of each show, they have made some posters for them.
Yeah.
If you put them together, the Hall of Justice is in the background.
Wait, what?
Yes. There's 4 new posters, one for each show,
Okay.
talking about the crossover.
Okay. Do they
And it
stack
pretty
like you mean like they stack side by side, not like you got to overlay them?
no, side by side. So literally, you'll put each one side by side, and it pretty much went and it seemed like it goes in the order of the shows coming on each day. So Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and if you sit them next to each other, the Hall of Justice is in the background.
I mean, but come on. See, okay, here's my issue. My biggest issue with them is them keeping the television universe separate from the movie universe. I don't like that. But does that mean we're gonna have you? So, what do you think? There's gonna be cameos from other.
I think we'll see some of the
I
bigger
already saw.
heroes.
I saw something about Batman being in the joint.
They make a reference. I gotta go back and see. There's a reference
I
to
heard he's. I
Batman
saw
that's
something
made
that
in
said
there.
like he's in. Like there's an image of him somewhere, like in one of the posters or something like that.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at those
Yeah,
posters now.
I
I
saw
don't
something
remember
about
seeing
that.
that. But I mean, we got Superman. So of course, if the image of Batman is real, then we got the bats because they make all sorts of Gotham references. It's
Yeah.
funny in one of the episodes, like a villain or something like drops right down in front of these civilians, and like Supergirl just pulls them out the way, and they're like, you know what? We should move back to Gotham City. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, do you watch Gotham?
I fell off of Gotham. I
Okay.
just, as much as like I've taken, a lot of people can't take this out. It's not a Batman show,
It's not.
and that's what a lot of people try to watch it for.
Right.
And I know for the 100%, it's not it. But for whatever reason, I just can't. I just can't
I
get.
liked it. Like I watched the full first season and I liked it. I didn't watch anything after that, but I liked it. I liked the direction they were going. I liked that it was a little bit different. I don't know that I necessarily like how much older like the villains and the characters and stuff like that have to be with Bruce being so young.
Mm-hmm.
Um but it's a show about Gordon. It's not a Batman show. It's a Commissioner Gordon show. Really, is what it is. Which I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't think the show's bad though. A lot of people seem to think the show's bad. I don't think the show's bad, but whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten into Legends of Tomorrow. I guess I need to at least give it a run. I need to look at it. Um, but I'm not excited about it right now. Crossover stuff is cool. I think that's smart. I think it's a good thing for them to do. Supergirl is the show currently that I enjoy the most. But again, not really dealing with Flash. And Arrow kind of turned me off because it got a little too. It just got a little out of control. Like there was just too much going on. Lazarus Pits and just it was just too much going on. However, I'll give it a whirl. I'll look. I'll check out Legends of Tomorrow and see if I like it. I'll look at the first season. and see how I feel about it. And we'll go from there. How about that? Does that sound fair?
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Sounds fair.
All right. Well, look, man, let's wrap it up. Tell everybody where they can find you online and so forth, so they can follow you.
Yep, as usual. If you guys want to shoot me that email, NuJoker.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If you want to game with me, or if you want to get at me on Instagram or Twitter, it's NuJoker89. And then on Facebook, you can get at me at NuJoker's Adventures.
No doubt. Listen, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. You can email me at gage.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. You can email the podcast if you have a specific request, a question, something you want us to cover, any of those things, or really just a comment. Just loadingsnacks@gmail.com. Make sure you go and follow us on Instagram at Loading Snacks. Same thing with Twitter. You can follow me on both of those at Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ. I'm the same. You can, if you find me there, you'll be able to find me on Xbox One or PS4. It's not that difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 45 of the Snacking and Hanging podcast, the Loading Snacks podcast. We thank you for listening. With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.